Jai Shri Mataji, thank you so much for joining
Jai
us
Shri
this evening
Mataji.
for you. And afternoon for us in England. Jai Shri Mataji, Sanjay Talwar, uncle and auntie, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon for us, as we said, because the picture is not quite complete without both of you being there together. So really appreciate both of you joining us together. Where we should begin today, perhaps, is that journey that Sanjay Talwarji had explained, the first meeting with Shri Mataji way back in the 80s when his younger sister was getting ready to meet, and the bridegroom's party came with Shri Mataji and her Sahajyogis to your house. Now, you were the younger daughter-in-law, and in a North Indian household, that is a very precarious position to be in, and it's something like a VIP visiting. Could we have, from your perspective, what it was like? I mean, you were busy preparing, of course, for your sister-in-law, getting her ready and probably preparing food and things to look after and take care of the visitors and the guests, very special guests. What was your impression of the whole party, and what was your journey with Shri Mataji like? Could you please take us from that point?
Yes, yes. I'm happy to join you for this sharing of experiences. And that day was really very special because we are very close to Meenakshi, my sister-in-law, and we were very happy for her because after few proposals, which went downhill in a way, this one was really sort of, they were looking like matched for each other, and the families were also very joyfully coming together, though from different backgrounds, totally different cultures, because Punjabis and Maharashtrians, besides the food, even the language and the pehnava, you can say, the whole thing
Clothes,
about
attires, yeah.
yes. So that was a different experience for us all together, because we were more the chapati, roti, paranthi type, and they were totally rice. So for us, that was, itself a very big change for us. And of course, this lunch where the families were going to meet for the first time, everything was arranged, and we are a joint family, so every function had a lot of effort from each member. They had a special place and a special sort of a responsibility. So we knew that the Buaji is coming. We knew that with um, the father-in-law, mother-in-law, and the mama and the bua, that is Baba Mama for us now. And so, of course, Sanjay ji has explained very well, how everybody was sitting on the floor, and like um, we were I was like a bit in awe of the whole situation, because the first glimpse even of Shri Mataji was, it was very breathtaking. It was very different. Even though at that moment we were just introduced to her as the aunt, as the bua, but her whole ambience, and it was very godly. Initially, also without knowing anything about her, because actually we were not prepared, in a way that there was no background given to us. That, yeah. So that was the first impression that we got. And after that, of course, when we were serving the food and everything, she was a very, very small eater, in the sense of, compared to the rest of the family. So she just stopped at one chapati and little bit rice. And so I kept trying to offer her more. So I was very, very I said that I hope you like the food, and she said, of course, it's very, very delicious. The Punjabi, I love this khana and everything, but that's all. She wouldn't take more. And so um, afterwards, a few months later, my son was born in September, and then also Srimat. This
That
was
was 1981, 80 we met her.
huh, 81.
1981,
Huh.
81.
This was
So
81.
it was 4
Yes,
years later.
yes, yes.
Childhood.
He was born in 85.
Yeah.
And that then Shri Mataji had also come to our house, and we have photographs in which she's holding him in her lap. And I thought there couldn't be a bigger blessing,
Oh,
for
wow.
him than having Shri Mataji hold him in her lap and caress him. And I want
Bless.
to just fast forward a little bit to the years after maybe 86 onwards, 87, when Sanjay ji was totally, traveling with Shri Mataji to the programs, and he was very involved with the music team that was being set up by Shri Mataji and going overseas. And that was the time that I was, in fact, even before, I was working with my father-in-law in the nursing home. So I had like a full-time responsibility with the children and, the family. And my parents were also, my family was in Delhi also. So I don't know, how those years went between 86 and 92, 92 when the nursing home closed down, 91. Uh, Sanjay ji was not really around for the family. He was just always either planning, or he was physically away, or he was, recording music, songs, or the cassettes were being made. Then the whole family, it became like assembly machine. We were putting the cassette covers, putting the cassettes in the boxes, then making smaller boxes out of it, then writing the stuff on it. So everybody was on the job. So whether it was the bearer or the cook or the whatever, whoever he could grab hold of, they were sitting in the assembly line. Of course, all the children, then my bhabhi, then my mother-in-law, father-in-law, everybody. After dinner, we would sit down and make these tapes, into covers, and then quickly put them into boxes. And they had to be labeled, and then they had to be sort of put away for preparing for Ganpati Pule or preparing for going to Europe. So suitcases were brought out, and then the suitcases, we were told that this is not coming back. So you'll have to get them into a box in which it will have to be gifted with the suitcase. So that was perfectly okay with the family. They said, okay, no problem. You just, have them ready in time. So that is the time that, what can I say? I was very involved actually in trying to put the family, um, the needs, or the responsibility of the family. I was heading it. And for some time, I did feel his absence also, because the children, for birthdays and for stuff like that, and for school, parent-teacher meetings, and like there are some milestones that the children remember, even holidays. So he was mostly away. But the thing was that because Shri Mataji was the focal point, it went very smoothly. We never felt that anything was amiss. It was all in its own way getting completed, and everything was getting looked after, so that was a miracle by itself. And once or twice, Shri Mataji even came to stay with us, in the sense of, there was some public program, and in between she had to rest. So I was looking after her at that time.
When was
And
this?
this was
Mm.
80
87 maybe?
87, maybe 87, 88. There were programs in West Delhi, and there were some medical conferences happening in Delhi. And in between those programs, it was too far to go to Vasant Vihar where Shri Mataji was staying. So she would come to our house. And we had, of course, the master bedroom, prepared for her, my parents-in-law's bedroom. And, one minute I felt that she was in very deep sleep. after the meal and everything. But luckily, I was just there. I didn't go anywhere. And within a couple of minutes, she was up and she was getting ready for the other program. And she was already dressed. And, it was always a very big transformation and very fast. And I remember these starched cotton sarees with the borders.
Yes.
And, she would just, I mean, it would take us a very long time to put those pleats together. And, the starch in the sari doesn't allow you that fall. But she was just amazing, totally awesome. The way she would switch from a lying down deep sleep position into sitting in front of the dressing table and already putting a bindi, already ready and ready to go. And she would just walk out and say, just come. And the one thing that I noticed in every city, because we did travel with her a lot, was that the city we went to, the people were very fresh and they were ready to walk with her, go that extra mile, do everything. And then when we were going to the next city, when I looked back, they were already falling over because it was so much, the vibrations were so much for them. But she was fresh like a flower. She was going from Jaipur to another city, to Bombay, then coming back to Delhi, then going to Lucknow, then so that was, I mean, it told you of the kind of energy she had. There was no question of getting tired or anything at that time. She was always in a fresh avatar, you can
Yes.
say like that. And
Something about your private, like, I'll ask on your behalf.
Yes, please do, because I wanted to know what was the turning point, what was that moment when you realized that it wasn't, I mean, of course, because there was no background given to her visit, and for our viewers, Bua, as you said, is aunt. Father's sister is called Bua, so um, that's why you were referring to Shri Mataji as Bua there. When did you realize that this isn't just any special VIP relative? It is the divine. What was that moment, and when was it?
I think it was in Ganpati Pule. It was a puja in Ganpati Pule, and uh, that experience that you have is like no other. You cannot even explain it. It is something, I wanted to compare it at that time, when I spoke to my friends also about it. It's something like childbirth. The pain and everything is there, and you feel, my goodness, it's the first time. You can't do this. It's just not going to happen. How is it going to happen? And then you just surrender. And then when it happens, you cannot explain it. It just happened. So for me, it was the first Ganpati Pule. When I saw her there, it was just, one, we were cut off from the daily sort of the toil or the whatever, the work for, the experience. So it was a way. There were no cell phones and stuff like that at that time. So when we were there, we were just focused and we were just with her, listening to her. And it was at the first Ganpati Pule that I felt that
1986
that
December.
86, that
December.
I felt that she definitely, there is something more than what you can see, and it can take a long time for it to, because we came with a lot of baggage. We came with a lot of pre sort of formed notions and experiences of the family. And being Arya Samajis, we were also a lot into havans and stuff like that. And of course, I come from a school where, moral science and subjects like that. And
Yes.
then, that whole background about Ramayana, Mahabharat, all that. So there was already a lot of that. By 20 years, you have read a lot and you're exposed to a lot of things. But this was something different. It was something different. So that's when I felt. And also, uh, yeah, and uh, I remember in but that was later, no? 90, the cancer thing, right?
In 1999.
Yeah. So in 1999, I was undergoing a medical condition in which I had an injury on my leg, and very fortunately for me, the growth of the cells was outward. It wasn't going towards the bone, so they could easily operate it, and it was very close to the bone at that time. There was a malignancy,
Okay.
and for that, we were advised to go to New York for advanced chemotherapy, and so uh, in that trip itself, we met Shri Mataji. She was in coming from where was it?
She's coming to New
New
York
York.
from India.
From India. She was coming to New York. We went to meet her at the airport, and she already knew about it because Sanjay had been following that treatment that she had advised.
Three candles.
Three candle treatment we were doing. And after that, I went for the chemotherapy just to rule out any,
Hmm.
radiotherapy, to rule out any possibility of anything spreading. And Shri Mataji met us, and very lovingly, she told me that there is nothing to worry. It's all been cleared already. I have taken care of it. And so that was itself a very big miracle in our lives because we were still very young with young children and many
How old were you?
responsibilities.
Remind us your age, please. If you don't mind me asking at that point.
58,
Uh,
41.
41 years old.
Wow.
41 years old. Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing.
So that was, a very big turning point in our life. And I had checkups after that. Every 5 years, I was supposed to, go for the scans and stuff. But by her grace, although 10, 15 years, and everything was cleared, I was given the clear green signal, and it had gone completely.
Yeah.
So that was a very big blessing from Shri Mataji.
Oh,
Mm.
fantastic.
You
That's
were with me in that. You were with me in that trip to Jaipur. And I said all those miracles that
Yes.
he's spoken about.
your voice
Yes.
is a bit low, Uncle. Your voice is a bit low. So if the mic
Yeah, okay.
is
Because the
yeah,
mic is closer to her.
yeah,
We have
yeah.
a
Yeah.
So you wanted to
yeah,
ask her.
we have a common mic.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
If
So
you come closer to Uncle, and then that's fine.
Yes.
yeah,
That's it.
Yes. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. I'm comfortable. I'm very
Yeah,
comfortable. Yeah.
okay,
perfect.
right.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Okay, so yeah, but I remember a couple of things that she told me when she Mataji, when my dad was looking after Sahaja as a leader in Delhi. He used to come and stay in Rajesh Shah's guest house in Vasant Vihar. Remember?
Yes. Yes.
And this was, I think, in 1990, 1989, 89, 90. Even earlier she had come. But I remember she asked for her to look after her. And Radha was uh, staying with her, right, overnight.
Yes. Yes.
And a couple of things happened. You remember there was experiences about the news of Mr.
Yes.
Dhumal
yes,
Yes.
please
Yes.
share.
There was this news about the Sehjogi, Mr. Dhumal. He had
Uh-huh.
just passed away, and Shri Mataji got the news while I was with her, and it was the only time, in fact, that I saw that she was actually sobbing, and she was very there was a
sense of loss.
yes, a big sense of loss because she had actually it's like a sapling which you have cultured, grown, you have put so much of your love and everything into it, and suddenly it's taken away. And it was a very she said she had already warned him, but he didn't listen to her. And
Oh,
so then this was to happen. And so it took a little bit of time, a couple of hours, in fact, that she was sitting up, and she was um, I wouldn't say she was in grief because I felt she already knew. She knew it. But, that was her part of her Maya, that she was a human being in that moment. She was very like normal, like, somebody passes away and those emotions that you have, your heart breaking down, and it's a helplessness she felt, which she also she was very vocal about it, but there was nobody else in the room. It was just that she felt that, had this not happened, we had a gem, we had a real gem in Sahaj Yoga, which we have lost now. So so at many instances you felt that she's just one of us. Her humanness was so apparent in, but only in glimpses.
Yeah.
Suddenly, she was looking, but she would look through. She was not actually looking at you, but she's looking into your eyes, but she's looking through you because she's not there. So, this was a part which was, at that moment, I was very full up about it, because we didn't know Mr. Dhumal so well. He was very senior, but
Mm.
we had heard about him and we knew of him. And
It was like she was
And
scanning.
yes,
You
it
could
yes,
was
see
a
it. Mother used to
yes.
scan. Used to
yes,
Yes,
scan.
when Shri Mataji looks, then she scans, isn't it? But did Shri
yeah.
Mataji say what she had asked Mr. Dhumal to do, and that he didn't do it? Did she say anything or not? No.
No, no,
Okay.
she
She didn't.
didn't. No, she was just it was just like she knew that this was coming, and she had already spoken to him about it, but
Yeah.
things went the other way, and then so
It's the loss. It's the
it's like that. It's a
Mahamaya. It's the
loss.
mother
Yes.
at the
Yes,
loss.
it's the mother. That was the thing, it was totally like when I was saying, like it was something that she had put a lot of her love and her everything into it, but that has been taken away. So that was,
Tell her about that motherly touch she motherly gave when we went to her house.
yeah. So we
When
were
was
in
this?
Juhu.
we
Please.
were
Yeah.
in Juhu. We had taken the children, and I think our daughter was about 8 years old. Our son was 5, and they were playing in the room. She was talking to us, and there was some discussion about the music and the next music tour, and then she just looked at the children. She said, "Oh, you're playing here? Okay." So then she opened her purse. She gave them 100 rupees each, and
Wow.
she said, "Now you go to the beach and you enjoy yourself. You you
Wow. When was
go
this?
and have some ice cream and go and have some nariyal pani." And this was
This was, I think,
82. She was born, huh?
89 and 90,
90,
same time,
90
because
probably.
I had just written a song for Sahaj Sadhana, my album, remember?
Yes,
And I
yes,
said I have to go and meet Shri Mataji and
yes.
show her the song.
That was when
And
we
then
went.
Yogi Mahajan was there.
Yeah.
And then he said he had to go out somewhere.
Huh.
And he said, you better be with Shri Mataji because I am the only one he was the only one looking after her at that time.
Yeah.
So when he stepped out, he gave us the responsibility that I'll be back soon. Mother sent me on some work, but she's alone here. And there was only one help, us one servant who was serving her food, etc. And it was exact lunchtime when we had gone there with the children.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when we were there, she came to the table. We all had lunch together. And then I'll say a little bit, then you
Yes.
tell them,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
tell
please.
her that
Yes.
we went into her room and it's post lunch. She normally goes to sleep. So we were a little hesitant to go with her. We felt that she's now going to go and take some rest.
But no, she called us. She said,
So
"You sit here with
she called
me."
for us and she
Yeah.
said, you come in my bedroom.
Yes.
And we went in her bedroom. She asked the children to go lie down. There was a divan next to her. I think there was another bed close to her bed.
Yes.
And she had
Yes.
her bed and she lay down herself.
Yeah.
She asked the
Yeah.
children to lie down. And she asked, I think, Aradhana to lie down with the children.
No,
It
no,
was
I was there. We were sitting and talking
you
about
explained,
the
and I'll tell
music.
you my part of
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we were sitting and we were talking to her. I think the children went to sleep. Then they were playing or something. So that's when she said, and this is again like a very human thing. Like she's a grandmother. and she just said to the children to go and play and, take the thing and, just. So these instances were very, very, uh, suddenly you lose that whole perspective of who she is. You come so close to her, and you actually start feeling that she's a family member, only in the next instance to know that she's something that is really, beyond our, really beyond our perception. Yeah.
And if you don't mind, I'll say a bit there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That day, it was her rest time, and when she wanted to lie down, and we felt both odd that mother's lying down and resting. I think we should leave the room, but she said, "No, no, no, you stay on." And I think when the children went to sleep, she also, I think, asked her to lay down with the children. And when Shri Mati lay down on the bed, I planned that I'll leave the room. But she said, "No, you sit here." And she made me sit next to her, not on the bed, but I was sat on the floor where she was lying down, and closer to her forehead. And then she asked me to put my Agya finger onto her bindi. Now, if you remember that,
Yes, yes.
and I put that, and then she said, "You also lie down on the floor." So while I lay down on the floor, my hand was gone up to the bed, and on her forehead, my Agya finger was there. And I was like holding my hand like this, and she's lying down, and then she started to snore. She went to sleep. And
We thought.
we thought, and I removed the finger because I thought maybe that'll disturb her. And then she just quickly said, "Put it back." She wouldn't let me take it away. And of course, then I, of course, moved the other way around, put my other Agya finger. She said, "Put the other one also." So I don't know, that is it. Like she was glaring me, and she had my Agya finger was on her forehead for a long time. And then I remember one thing, my arms were getting very tired, and after some time, I must have withdrawn my hands, and I passed out. I completely passed out. I went to sleep. And then I don't know, it was a very deep sleep. And when I woke up, the bedroom was opening into the beach. It was right on the Juhu beach. It was a shack. So her doors would open and you could just walk into the water, from there.
Sand.
The sand was right there. And when I woke up, I saw there was so much light in the room. And Shri Mataji was not on her bed. The children were not lying down. Aradhana was not there. And I just thought, what has happened? Where have they all gone? And so I got up and I looked around, and then I saw this beautiful scene. The children were running on the water, and Radha and Shri Mataji were, I think, sitting down and having tea. And I don't know how long they must have been together. I must have missed all the fun. But I do remember
You
I
got your
passed out. I blacked out.
you got your Agya cleared and missed out on the cup of tea. How long
Yeah.
that whole what was the duration of this? Do you remember?
I can't
Because
Half
say.
an hour or so.
Maybe half an hour or so.
amazing.
There was the
Amazing.
evening time, and it was like you were with the children. Like felt so easy, so happy, and Shri Mataji is doing everything to look like a grandmom, and to her like a real mother. She was just so loving to
Yeah.
us. I mean, we felt that we have been living there for ages with Shri Mataji. You got that feeling. It was never like we were with any person who was strange or you know otherwise, but that because we had known, I had known, and that was the time when I had read out my poem to her before on the dining table when we were having lunch. And then of course I think Yogi came back and he said, "Wow, you guys have been there for hours." I I thought you would have gone back after lunch. I said, no. Shri Mataji called us into her room and we even had our afternoon nap in her room. And now we are having evening tea with her.
How lucky is that?
Amazing. And
Yeah.
one more incident, I think there is one more incident she used to tell me very often when we were traveling by train from Lucknow to Delhi and we alighted together and she was with Shri Mataji in her compartment. She
Yeah,
When
generally,
was
we
this,
came
please?
down.
yeah, tell.
When was it? What year was it?
A year I would say could have been early 90s only because
92,
that
91.
plane 91,
Hi.
1991
Yeah.
because that was the time when my songs and music were really on
Yeah.
the uprise in
Yeah.
Ganpatipure and all over the
So
world.
we alighted at the New Delhi railway station,
From
and
Lucknow.
the other Sehjogis, and no, in Delhi.
Delhi.
We were coming back.
Back from Lucknow.
Coming back from Lucknow, and on the railway station, and Shri Mataji who used to walk quite, comfortably fast, in the sense that if you don't keep up pace with her, then you're left behind, like that. And somehow in those days, the stations were not that crowded. I don't have a memory of too much crowd, or the people were just sort of getting left, and there was a way that we were just going towards the exit to the staircase,
Yeah.
and then on the pull and towards the exit. And at that time, Sanjay was expressing a desire even before that he wanted to go to Bombay to try out singing as a profession, because after coming from Bombay, his professional career into chemical technology, which he had studied and even worked for a few years, hadn't really taken off, because we came and joined his father in the nursing home. So there was a break in his career at that point. He had gone into some business, but that also after that he met Shri Mataji, so that was also, a thing of the past. So now he wanted to try out this singing in Bombay, and he had told me that he's going to try this. And I happened to mention it to Shri Mataji that going to try this in Bombay, Shri Mataji. He wants to go for music, for background playback singing. And she just looked at me, her full face, and she said no. She said no. She said he must not go. He must stay and do his music and his poetry and follow this in Sehaj Yoga only. And that was it. There was no more further discussion about it. So later, when so this was a very big, sort of farman from her,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
put very gently and but very firmly. So I told him in the evening when we went home, I said, this is what she said. And I think there was no further discussion on it.
No, there was actually on the sidelines, I had got a
Call.
invite
Yes.
from Salil Chaudhary. The Salil Chaudhary is a very famous music director who had
Bollywood,
given music
yes.
for Anand.
For the film Anand.
That Anand film had been
Oh
released.
my God, those songs are classics.
Yes, yes, yes.
And for some reason, in the Delhi ashram where we used to go and attend at Kutub, there was this gentleman. He was from Calcutta. He was a Bengali, and he used to get after me. Ki, Sanjay, you've been singing so many bhajans, and Shri Mataji is always getting you on the stage, and your bhajans are so good. Your voice is so good, and why don't you go and sing for Bollywood? And my own brother-in-law, his name is Sadil Chaudhary. So I will talk to him, and I'll have you to invite him to take your audition. So I was excited. I said, "Wow, what a chance!" So that was in the back of my mind. And then this happened when she asked Shri Mataji about this because I have been sharing with her that I'm going to go and meet this Chalit Chaudhary. I think I'm being referred.
Is this
And
1990 in Kutub Institutional area where
yes,
Shrimati was
Yes,
staying?
yes.
yes,
Okay.
yes, yes, yes.
Wow.
And then I'll go about 1 or 2 years later, when this matter was over. hmm, uh, I was in Bombay, and you know what happens? This is where you go off. And I got a bit interested in at least thinking, at least let me pass an audition. I may not go and do it, but what if this man has tried so hard for me to get this appointment? Why don't I just quietly get an audition done? You know? So I sent a message to him to talk to his brother-in-law, and he said, "Okay, you'll get a call." So I spoke to Salil Chaudhary on the phone. He called and he said that to come tomorrow. And I was to go the next day. But I don't know what this all implies. But the next day never came.
Were you in Ganapati Phule that time? Because only then you could go to
Oh,
Mumbai.
yeah, must have been
Yeah.
winter time. And we keep going via Bombay. So because my grandfather's house was in Bombay,
Uh-huh.
so we used to always stop by there and then go to Ganpati Pule by car. You know, my parents and all of us. This was a yearly program for us.
Mm-hmm.
And I do remember that day. Um, I don't know what implications this must have had. I never met Saril Chaudhary. Why? Because that
Previous night.
next day when I was supposed to meet him, I made a call to sort of try and go and find out where he is and what time I should be there. And on the other side, the person who spoke to me said, "Sir, but he passed away
The night before.
the night before."
Yeah.
I mean, just to
Yeah.
put it
Hmm.
into perspective for listeners, Shri Mataji clearly told you, Aradhana that no Bollywood singing, stick to Sahaj singing. But yes,
No.
we have this human desire
Yes.
because the movie that you were talking about and the music composer you are talking about is renowned in Bollywood. And that film
Very.
was a super hit film, actually, and so many songs that people to this day make, remake, and all that. So one can understand the allure and that
Yes.
attraction
Attraction. Yes.
to
Exactly.
actually at least just give it a go. Am I worth? Can I do this? That challenge, isn't it? That's what attracted
Yeah, I
you.
mean,
Mm.
I wanted to pass his audition.
Yeah. And
Yes.
Srimataji knew everything. Oh my God. Of course she
My
knows
God.
everything. What a thing
And
Yeah.
to
I
say.
after that I dared even look that side, dared
Yeah.
not even think what beyond what her words implied.
Yeah.
Because her it was not even a discussion, it was a few sentences and it was closed the chapter. She never
Mm.
talked about it again. Never, ever. It was just on that railway station.
Coming from Lucknow
That
to
was all
Delhi,
she
New
said.
Delhi railway
That no.
station. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
Wow.
That was it.
But she got maha excited when when the music was all, know, very much appreciated of what I was composing, singing, and Ganpati Pule. Then the cassettes were going everywhere, and
Who's
so
she?
Shri Mataji was very, very, very. I mean,
Involved. She was very involved
involved,
with,
and
yeah,
Yeah.
she was very
yeah.
happy. It was giving her so much of joy about my developing into a singer and composer and writer and what
And a
was I
filmmaker
trying
now.
to- no, this this is came much later.
Okay.
But now I go blank on this thing.
Actually, she was actually, I think her vision was to use him as an instrument because,
Yeah.
even in the programs, even in like Russia, when we went together for some of the programs, and she was not able to, the programs were held in various locations, and she was not always able to make it at that particular time. So Sanjay ji was always given the mic and had to continue singing for hour, 2 hours, 3 hours maybe. So, she had already prepared him for a particular purpose. It was like this instrument
Hmm.
was for another purpose. And then when she
That's
would
right.
come, he said that the people who are seeking, only those people would stay back. The others maybe had gone home, or they were the only ones there, and she was ready to give it to them. They were ready to receive it.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that was the background to
then something actually happened few years thereafter, year or year after, and then many years it happened that whenever I go to Shrimataji with a new cassette for inauguration and her blessings in opening the ribbon and then declaring the cassette is to be released, she in couple of times told me that you can go and sing in Doordarshan or in radio. And then I got, in fact, suddenly got letters and invitations to perform in the television and also in the radio. And I remember I got a call from All India Radio, and I was singing bhajans there, and then there was this broadcast by the by All India Radio time given, and then I was so excited. I told Shrimataji that All India Radio is going to be playing my bhajans at this time. And I remember there was this gentleman who used to drive Shrimataji's car. He was Rajesh Shah's driver. So he used to tell me, he said, "You're very lucky." I said, "Why?" He said, if Shrimataji would come into the car and sit down and say, bring Sanjay's cassette. So if she would drive anywhere within Delhi, he said your bhajans would play in the car. Shrimataji would listen to it.
Wow.
And till the time that she would go from one place to the other, he said, in fact, there was a time when I forgot to put your cassette, and when she was going to go, she said, "No, I'll go get the cassette. Otherwise, this journey will not start." So I was like, when he told me this, I was like, oh gosh, this is amazing. And then when that call from All India Radio came, that they had done a recording of mine, and I made sure I sang Sahaj bhajans, in that piece that they were supposed to relay. And I remember I told this gentleman, because either you could get Shrimataji on the phone, because there were no mobiles. The mobiles had just started to pour in, but there was no more. But this gentleman who used to drive Shrimataji, Raju was his name, something. And I used to tell him that you better be there. My program is coming live on radio, and I want Shrimataji to be listening to the live program. And he said, well, it's very tough for me to try do that. But what I can do is just half an hour before the program, wherever she is, I will let you know this number you call. So I did exactly that. And she happened to be at the 17C institutional area, Kutub. And so I had that number. And half an hour before the program, I made a call. And whosoever picked up the phone, I said, please inform Shri Mataji that in half an hour, they are going to relay my program in All India Radio.
On the radio.
On the radio. And lo behold, Shri Mataji she stopped everything what she was doing. She sat down, she asked him to turn on to that particular station, and she waited for the program to start. And she heard the whole program. And after she heard the program, she asked him to dial my number. Because I somehow had this feeling that Shri Mataji might want to talk to me. And she talked to me. And she says, I am so happy. I bless you. I bless you. You have done a wonderful job. And you just see how many places you will go and how much recognition you will get.
Wow.
So that desire of mine, of Bombay thing, was actually maturing in another form where I was continuing to do bhajans, but they were going into the electronic media, And that next year, in 2000, I think 1992, I got a call from Doordarshan, there was the only TV channel in India. Other than there was Star TV and all that. And they invited me to perform three bhajans, three songs of my own liking. And I sang them my own compositions, which I had made for Shri Mataji, I sang those in Doordarshan. And it was a half an hour Doordarshan presentation on my bhajans. And that then came live on TV, So for us to be live on TV on a prime time of Doordarshan was quite a achievement. I mean, what more could I have asked for? She'd already fulfilled that desire of mine when
Yes.
it came. I have that. I've recently electronically recorded those that particular relay of All India Radio, and I mean the Doordarshan one. I have a video of that,
Do you please email us the link? We
and
can
I will
put
try
it
and
up
take it
with
out.
your video.
It might take me a while because it's somewhere down in my hard drive, which I have to then take and convert it into a Google Drive and send it to you. But I'll try and do that. It's a very beautiful video. I've cherished it and kept it with me.
Well, in those
So
days, getting onto Doordarshan was gold dust, isn't it? Unless you
it was.
really had contact,
Yes.
or God was helping, like in your case, you,
You
you
remember
wouldn't
that?
you wouldn't
And
be
then,
there.
yeah.
You
And
know,
then,
so
and
it's
then,
really amazing. Do you any of the bhajans
and then
that
in
you want?
2002,
Yeah.
yeah, sorry. What did you say?
Which bhajan?
Do
Yeah,
you
the
remember
bhajans
any
which
of
came.
the bhajans that you want to share
Yeah, it
for
was my
countdown?
bhajans from Jagriti cassette. Dur Gagan ki Chhaav mein Asha. Was that the
Asha
one?
ki kiran.
Asha ki kiran lehrai hai. And then there was this Teri Saanson ki jab ek ladi
Oh
Sukhman
yes,
meri ko bhar degi, which I had talked about last time.
yes,
So
yes.
that was played. Those two bhajans I remember.
Yeah.
They were played by Doordarshan, and they had actually created a visual for those bhajans where you could, well, the music is going on, the camera is going onto the flowers, onto the garden, onto the mountains, onto the streams.
Wow,
So that was my first tryst with the audio visual, 1992 itself.
amazing.
That was the beautiful beginning. And then in 2002, when I had made Jai Jagdambe Ma, my latest presentation on Shri Mataji's bhajans, uh, then another something similar happened. I went to her and she said, I think you should go international with your music. So I said, Ji Shri Mataji. And she said, this one is amazing. You should not just limit yourself to making just bhajans. You should make audio visual. You should make for the big screen. Your bhajans should come on the audio visual, on the video. So we took a cue from that. We made a video. I made a video. I shot a video nicely in the mountains, went, hired dancers and hired a music director and all. So that's where my first kind of exposure to filmmaking started, when she prompted me to do that. And that particular album was called Jai Jagdambe Ma, and it was in the video format, it was called Ma Ka Ashirwad, which was
Yes.
presented to her on her birthday, Puja, in Balewadi in 2003.
3.
And I got that video out, and in fact, when I sent it to Shri Mataji, she said, bring all the VCDs and distribute them to Sahaj Yogis. So I had a stall there with a small TV playing the video. People were watching, and they were, of course, Shri Mataji, everybody wanted everybody to buy it. She said the Nabis will not open if they take everything for free. So she had fixed a price, and it was selling like hotcakes at Balewadi Stadium, Pune. I remember, and of course, the Times Music. She said, "Go to Times of India; they will take your music." And the next day, I went, and very easily they signed up a 10-year contract with me with Times Music, and the albums were in their internet, in the website, everywhere, all over the world.
Wow.
People could purchase them, And similarly, something similar happened the same year with ghazals. When she asked me to make ghazals, she said ghazals are all left-sided. They are all negative. People cry.
Yeah.
and all. You should go research a bit. So I researched and I found some beautiful words in some ghazals which are not even ever
Set to music.
composed, set to music, nothing, never sung. And great writers like Jan Issa Akhtar, Javed Akhtar's father, he had written a very beautiful song. Then Ali Sardar Jafri, there were two of his. He was very well-known poet of those times. And then Majrooh Sultanpuri, and like that, I think there were so many of them. Jigar Muradabadi, all these great poets. So I researched which are the good ones, which are positive, have a sahaj connotation to the words and everything. And then I composed music on those. And once I composed, I even recorded them in Bombay in a very nice studio. Like Shri Mataji had already taught me how to do a recording when I was doing Ruhani Roshni.
Please tell us the details. What did she teach
So
you?
I had everything lined up. uh, okay, I found those photographs. I was telling you how we went to the
Yeah.
studio and do Nariyal Toda and how we did the
You want
puja.
to share with
I
us?
found all those photographs now, but I'll have to scan them and send them to you. Give
So please tell us about this photo
So
that
this
you
is the
showed.
one taken at Pratishthan, and I'd gone to take her blessings before going for a recording. I think this is before the recording of the cassette Bandagi for Shri Mataji. And she had her feet on my back agya, and then later on her feet were on me on the back side. And somebody clicked this photograph with Shri Mataji in that position where she's working and clearing me out. Is this photo
Ah.
clear?
Yeah, Shri Mataji's photo is clear. Yes. It's at
Yeah, okay.
NTDC then.
Let me see if I can show you some more.
Yes, please.
Then this was my co-singer for Bandagi cassette, where Shri Mataji is working on her,
Uh-huh.
again in Pratishthan,
Which year is this again?
1988.
1988. Beautiful.
Hmm.
Thank you.
There is this playback singer. I don't know if you recognize him.
I
I've
can't
forgotten
remind
his
us.
name now. I'm a little bad with names, if I
Sorry.
remember. But people who see it, they'll know who he is. He's a very famous playback singer. He was singing in that cassette Bandagi with us. So I think these are some of the photographs. This is a photograph again of the cassette Bandagi in Pratishthan with Baba Mama and the entire team.
Wow.
We had gone, together to take mother's blessings before we went. So the song I sang in Bandagi was Khud ki khudi ko khokar khud tu khuda mein khoye ja. So,
Could you
and
sing a stanza or two for us, please?
okay, that was Baba Mama wrote that song, and it was the same year I
Really?
recorded Ruhani Roshni. Bandagi was also done the same year.
Uh-huh.
So it goes like this. खुद की खुदी को खो कर खुद तू खुदा में खोए जा लाफानी है वो पाए जा जो फानी है वो खोए जा खुद की खुदी को खो कर खुद तू खुदा में खोए जा Remember?
Wow, wow. Very nice. It's amazing how Shrimati transforms, isn't it? Like you said, Baba Mama
Yeah,
wrote this song and he was an accountant. And then
yeah,
suddenly
yes.
he's writing poetry and songs and you were a chemist and then a chemical engineer and then you're singing and making Sahaj films. Take us on that
Sure.
journey further from
It,
there
it,
then.
it took us a while for Baba Mama to discover my vibrations. So how
How did that
we
happen
we
then?
used to joke a lot on how Baba Mama used to talk about vibrations. So in the early stages, when I just met Baba Mama and he came to know about the recording of Ruhani Roshni, he told me, how come you've done all this so fast? And I have not known much about you. And I would also like to do an album because I've been into music for a very long time. And Guruji and all the Nirmal Sangeet Sarita were part of his
Yes.
making, in Nagpur. And Shimadaji had called them to accompany me in our foreign tours, where Shimadaji actually took Ruhani Roshni herself and distributed it to all the foreigners. Then he was watching with awe. The minute he got back, the first thing he did was he booked a studio and he said, I'm going to do an album called Bandagi. And I remember that Shimataji told him that don't record this album without Sanjay. Now, he had zero experience about me. We had just met hardly a year back.
Which
Well,
year?
I've known him. I've known him as a mama of my sister's, the family we getting married to. But
Yeah.
this part of me, he had just discovered that, oh God, this boy, he's got a voice, he sings. And Shimati is very fond of his singing and she's been taking interest in his recording. So he got very motivated. He said, I'm going to also come out with a tape. So Shimataji gave him all the blessings. She said, yes, why not? And I think within a few months of my doing Rani Roshni, he had planned a recording for Bandagi. But then Shimataji had told him that you will record Sanjay's voice in it. And he wasn't convinced. He was going after that great musician whose photograph I was told you to sing the male part of the song. I wasn't part of his album at all. Uh, I still forget his name. Uh, he's a very famous playback singer, sings bhajans and all that. So he came to the studio and he recorded his voice. And then Baba Mama, as he knew I would go to Shri Mataji with my song and then she would correct it or she would like to put things right. So that way he followed the same way and he went to her and said, Mother, I have recorded this song, please listen to it. And I also happened to be there. And
As it
when
was.
but because she had asked me to be there, so I was there in the studio, but he never recorded me. He recorded this man. And he told her that he's a very popular singer. And because of his popularity, this cassette will probably reach out to many people, will ask for it. And it has a good marketable value. So at that time, Shimadaji just listened to what he was saying. But she said, but I wanted Sanjay to sing. But he said, Mother, you listen to Sanjay, you listen to him, you'll come to know how big a professional he is. So Shimadaji just said, okay. So he played that song when he sang. And then Shimadaji asked me, Guruji was there. She says, now what he has just recorded, Sanjay, you sing the same song. So I sang the same song in front of her, and she asked Baba Mama, do you feel the vibrations? So Baba Mama said, yes, mother, his voice is very vibratory. His voice is shaking. He is nowhere close to this musician. So Shrimataji said, I'm talking of Sahaj vibrations, not the vibrations in the voice. Can you feel it on your palms? Shrimataji said. And then he said, Ji Shrimataji, it's very cool. Then she said, well, then now you play this man's song and now you feel the vibrations. So he did the same and he had to be honest and said, no, mother, it's not that cool as it was coming with Sanjay. So she said, now go back to the studio and record Sanjay on the same track.
Wow.
So he went back and he recorded my voice. And then when it came to finalizing the cassette songs, he told Shimataji, I will have Sanjay's song, but I will also have his song, what he sang. So there will be always a comparison in that about the two. So she said, why are you comparing? Why are you comparing? I know when he released the album, of course, he had both of us there. He had me, he had her. But I think it was a big eye opener because Shimataji's idea of music and recording was that Sahaj Yogis should be able to perform and record who are practicing Sahaj Yoga, who actually recognize Shri Mataji in their heart, and not professional singers who are, Bollywood, like that. But the biggest compliment I got was while after I finished my recording for this song, Khud Ki Khudi Ko Khokar, this great musician, he came up to me and he said, Sanjay Bhai, the heart and feel with which you sang, I was not a patch before that.
Wow.
And I am telling Baba to take your song and not to take my song, because that will go much more wider towards her bhaktas. They will understand. So he was a wonderful person. The way he, acknowledged this fact. I said, sir, I am not a great singer. I have no musical training, but I like your humility. You're so humble and so sweet. And that is when he convinced Baba Mama that my song should be put on the first part of the album. And that is how when Bandagi starts, the first song begins with me, with my
All
song
right.
of Khud Ki Khudi Ko Khoka.
Please
And it
remind
ends. Haji?
Please remind us where this conversation with Shri Mataji, Baba Mama, and you took place, and
It
this.
is in Bombay. It was in
Okay.
Bombay.
And when?
Uh, she used to generally come and stay at the governor's house because her I think one of her brothers, a younger brother who was a judge, or was it an elder brother? And he was politically quite connected with the ruling party at that time, and he was very close to the governor. So he used to go and stay with the governor, and Shri Mataji also was given, complimentary residence at the Bombay in the governor's house. So whenever she would be in Bombay in those years, in
Which year is
1980,
this?
87, 88, 88 it was recorded, 88, I remember.
Okay.
And that's where all this, so this is like, and now I've got this, let's see if this photograph, no, this is the puja that was performed in the studio. Can you see it?
No. Do you bring it a bit closer, maybe? We can see some things, but it's not really very clear.
So this is the puja altar.
Okay. Talk about it, because the visual isn't very clear. Sorry.
Yeah, because let's see,
Yeah, we can see some. Yeah, we can see a bit more there.
there's a light reflection, I think,
Yes.
coming. Let me see. Let me try and close the light. Just give me a second.
Okay.
Can you see it now?
Yeah, it's better than before. Yeah, we can see you there.
And there's Mother's altar, and then there is a glass behind which there is a studio where we were supposed to go in and record. So outside the studio, there was this room of the recordist where you used to first sit and do puja. We do. And then this is the music duo, Sapan Jagmohan, who gave music for all my albums in Bombay. No, they were the playback music directors for Bollywood.
Amazing.
And Jagmohan ji took his self-realization. He was the brother of Mr. Manmohan, who was a very ardent Sahaj yogi who lived in Toronto. And there's a story to it, of course.
All right. Okay. Tell us. Tell us,
And
please.
here,
That's Kavita Krishnamurti.
that is Kavita Krishnamurti and me.
Wow.
Yeah, in her young age.
This is the
You can see her?
80s. Yes.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes, this is from the recording of Ruhani Roshni in 1988.
Yes. Beautiful.
Yeah. And let's see. That's, of course, Kavita recording in the studio with me. I mean, it was a solo recording.
Beautiful.
I took these photographs.
She looks very joyful there.
And of course, that's yours truly for
Yes.
Ruhani Roshni. This is
Very
original
nice.
recording,
Yeah.
original photographs from the recordings. And this is the recording of the Kabir cassette with the team of Sapan Jagmohan. And we've got the arranger, we've got the recordist, we've got Anand Murudeshwara, the great flutist, sitting there, standing there with his with his
Wow.
hands on his chin. He had come as a special guest that day to watch over the recording. And of
Amazing.
course, Kavita and me, I think, and Sapan Jagmohan. It was
Wow.
a nice photograph here.
And that's a very nice album as well of Kabir Doha.
And this is the altar, what it used to look like in the studios. I don't know if they're still not very clear.
If you could bring it a bit closer, please. And we can just about see a small photo of Shri Mataji with a red
Yeah,
cloth.
yes,
Yeah,
it's got a flowers around it, and
yeah.
there's a table. And just outside the studio, there used to be this mother's altar, and inside we are all recording.
Very nice. Wow.
Can see that?
Yes,
Yeah.
on the left side there.
Okay, so I've given you a glimpse of our.
You have. Wow, those
Yeah.
special times.
Yes.
Fantastic.
So, okay.
So what happens next in this journey?
Well, I'm giving you in bits and pieces here and there what happened in those times.
They were so
Uh,
special.
yeah, they were very, very special. They were very special. I must show you one more
Okay.
picture
Yes,
of
please.
Sarita and Anurita Bakre.
Okay.
They are said yoginis whom Shri Mataji loved when they used to sing.
Ah,
And she asked me to take them in my cassette. And so they came to Ruhani Roshni and they were singing in the chorus.
ah,
And there is Jagmohan ji, the music director, and he's directing the chorus and the others. So I think this is a group photograph of all of
beautiful.
us in the studio of Ruhani Roshni.
Wow. Are you doing any projects together with them then?
Well, Sarita is married and of course and settled with with a grown-up daughter in Vienna. She's been there for now almost 35 or 40 years. And Anurita has become a grandmother. She lives in Switzerland with her husband.
It's already grandmother. Oh,
Yes,
wow.
yes.
I
The mother
remember
married them
meeting them
off,
in Cabela. Yeah.
yeah, very quickly, and they gave them a beautiful life overseas. Of course,
Yes.
Sarita's marriage couldn't continue, but she has been a solo mother bringing up her daughter. And I must show you one more picture of Sadhna Sargam.
Oh, yes. Wow. Look at the beaming
She's
smile. Yeah.
she's singing for me for my cassette Kabir Kahat Kabir.
Wow.
Uh, and she also sang for my ghazal albums, Ishq Ka Nagma.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
That's her performing in studio.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, now it's quite clear.
Yes, it
And
is.
that's her radiant face. I think
Yeah.
I showed you this. I showed you already. That's the two of us
Amazing. Is she
in
still
the studio.
practicing Saj Yoga, you think?
No, they came temporarily because that is
Okay.
what our mother trained us to get
Yes.
vibrations into the recording. If I mentioned it last time, that
Yes.
when she wanted a particular recording to be done, she taught me how we should get the musicians to meditate, feel her 108 names before the recording. And then she said they were awakened enough to, when they performed, the
Mm.
vibrations would flow into the music, which we had recorded. So once you hear those recordings, the vibrations will always be there because at
Yeah.
that moment they had got Shri Mataji in their heart when they were
Yes.
performing the puja, and Shri Mataji contained them for that period of time. Like she used to contain all these musicians who were called from all over the world, all over India, who were
Yeah.
great musicians of their like Debu Chaudhary and the great
Mm.
like Amjad Ali Khan and so
Yes.
many great musicians, Anup Jalota, they all came and performed before Shri Mataji, no doubt. But
Zakir
she
Hussain,
embraced them, she encased them in those vibrations so that when they performed at that moment, whoever recorded it, they would always, when they listen to it, they will feel the vibrations which was coming out of the music. Because it was her way of giving away all her vibrations. She said this medium of music was so effective and so beautiful that
yeah.
she says music actually has no language of the brain. It has the language of the heart. And all the time, I remember what I understood about Sahaj Yoga from her was that it is the heart that has to rule the brain. And that can only happen if you are appreciative of music, appreciative of art, appreciative of people who have that talent, that skill with which they can portray an image of the divine through their soulful presentation, whether they are painters, whether they are dancers, whether they are singers. In every form of art, Shri Mataji encouraged at that time. I mean, her most of the focus was on that. I mean,
Yes.
whenever I spent time with her, she was all the time telling me how beautiful this scenery looks outside. Go look outside this. Can you see this tree? What does it tell you? It tells you a story. Can you feel the breeze? It tells you a story. So it's like you can visualize all the elements in a manner that they are telling you some beautiful, tales and stories of love and joy and experience. Uh, Unmatched in the kind of world we live in. I mean, our attention, if it was to go into these subtle things, like the flower, like the smell in the flower, like the green in the atmosphere, all around you in the fields, the air that you breathe, the ground that you touch. So all these elements she made you so aware of that actually you can absorb so much from these elements that they nourish your chakras so beautifully. And when you meditate, at that time, when you use the elements to clear yourself, then it becomes an amazing experience. I mean, you can't let your meditation go anywhere. I mean, you just want to be there all the time in meditation.
That is true.
Huh.
So true. Yeah. Wow. So from singing then, what happens next? This is really, really nice. And how Shri Mataji would get you to sing in the public programs, whether it was in India or abroad, basically because she was working things, making things smoother for people to get their realization, isn't it? So
Yeah.
what happens next in this journey?
See, the most amazing thing I have to tell you is one experience I had when I was in Kabela attending to her puja. And there was this discussion going on that Shri Mataji had to leave for USA and Canada. And they were talking who is going to go with Shri Mataji. And it seemed that all the people who were being proposed to go with Shri Mataji from Kabela, that they had some issue or the other, and nobody was actually, ready at that moment. And there was this talk going on that who will go with Shri Mataji. And I just happened to be sitting there. I had come from India, and by God's grace, because my father was used to work with embassies. He was a doctor of most of the embassies here. So my passport used to have generally all the visas of the major countries. So I used to go carrying the visa, at least for the US and Canada, I always used to have a visa. But I had no plans to travel there. But I had gone to Kabela, and there was this talk going on who's going to go. I think it was in 1994, 93 or 94. I happened to be there. It was Navratri Puja. And after that, Shri Mataji was supposed to leave for the US and Canada. And then I immediately came automatically from me that, Mother, why can't I come with you? That desire came in my mind. And immediately it caught her attention and she said, there you are, Sanjay can come with me. So that amazing experience which I had was that I went to the US with her, and I was carrying her vanity bag and all the flowers that were given to her at the airport. And I had a seat behind Shri Mataji, and Shri Mataji was in front of me. And I think Sir CP was also on that flight. And that was one of the most beautiful experiences I had traveling with her all the way from Kabela to the US and Canada. And of course, when we arrived, there would be some Saj Yogi who would, take charge of me, and then I would stay with them. And because Shri Mataji was put up by the collective in some hotel or some place where she would be comfortable. And then every day we would get ready and go to her hotel and sit with her and have chat. And then there were talks about her public programs happening, music happening. So I remember I traveled once with her to LA. And in LA, music wasn't there much in America. And I had many years of now learning, writing, composing, singing at her public program. I had become quite a pro at this. And then we suddenly land up at this public program. And I always remembered that whenever mother had to speak before that, there had to be some bhajans. So when we went to that public program, I saw no stage setup for bhajans. There were no musicians, there was nothing. And mother was expected at any time. And I was getting a little panicky. I kept asking, haven't you made arrangement? They said, no, but Shri Mataji has hardly been here. She came once in 1982. And now she has come after a long gap. Because I think Shri Mataji was very upset with America when she went in 1982. Nothing much worked over there, you know. But after this trip of hers, America really when Sahaj Yoga took good birth because there are great people who then came and took self-realization. But I remember in that LA program, there was nobody. So I sat in the front row hoping that I would get an opportunity to sing a bhajan, but I realized that there are no instruments over there. How am I going to just sing just alone with my voice? So as I was contemplating, Shri Mataji walked in. And then she asked, were there any bhajans? No, it was just like expected that there would be bhajans over there. And then, of course, everybody cut a blank figure. And then she suddenly looked down, and I was in the front row, and she looked at me as if saying, what are you doing sitting there? Come on the stage and sing bhajans. So I immediately got the prompt, and I went to the stage, and I asked for the mic, and Shri Mataji sat, and there was no musicians with. And the minute I came onto the mic, I don't know what came over me. I just announced, anybody in this crowd who knows how to play an instrument and has an instrument with him, please come forward and accompany me. And lo behold, we found somebody with a tabla, we found somebody with a guitar or something, and 2 or 3 people just walked in as if there was the Hanumana had created the musicians from within the audience. And they sat next to me, and then I just started singing. They have never played with me. I had never known them, who they are. And they were playing so beautifully as if we had practiced. I mean, look at this miracle that Shri Mataji created on the stage to have a bhajan group out of nowhere. And I had just come, accompanied her. And that's when I realized why I had to come with Shri Mataji. Because she was going to do her public programs and there was nobody to sing bhajans over there. And we had an amazing public program that evening in LA. I will never forget this. So beautiful.
Wow, that is a miracle story and more. That musicians appeared with instruments. It's not just,
Yes.
with instruments, and all of you just sing and play for Shri Mataji and in such a nice harmonious way without any rehearsal. Shri
And then
Mataji.
Shri Mataji spoke. Yeah, she spoke so beautifully after that. And she used to always tell me that if you sing bhajans before my program, it prepares the people much better to take their self-realization. It helps me.
Wow. I'm just noting it down. So it's 1994 public program in LA. So I can look it up on Amrita and provide the link for
Let's hope. Yeah, let's hope there it was.
it's there. Yeah.
I may be wrong with the year 93, 94.
I'll check. No problem.
Because then we went to Canada also. And there also, of course, I became very, very aware of the fact that if Shri Mataji's public program is there, I should be there at least half an hour before, seeing the music arrangement, seeing if there's a mic, there is somebody arranging the music, who are the musicians who are going to play. And that is the time I met all these great musicians of America, Stephen Day, Matt Malley, and you name so many people who.
No idea. So please name because we don't know any of them.
Oh, well, in Britain, we had Tim Bruce, and we
Yes,
had
still there.
some,
Yes.
some others also. Harry. I think I remember Harry and his sister used to sing. I think they came out with a cassette called The Golden Goddess. It was one of the most popular CDs ever released in the UK in 1988, 89. and it created ripples across UK for a UK brother and sister duo performing. I
Wow.
don't remember Harry's full name, but I remember his name was Harry. And his sister, I've forgotten her name, she had an amazing voice. And I remember going to the UK in 1988 after I had done Andorra. Guru Puja was my first trip, and Shrimati took all of us to UK, where I think Dr. David Spiro was in charge, and they had released a small brochure in which they had invited Radha and Raja Reddy to perform
Oh, yeah. Wow.
on Krishna Leela. On Krishna Leela. I think it was in 88 or 89. Now I'm getting confused because actually from 88 till 94, twice a year we were traveling with Shrimati across Europe and all the continents for all her public programs, and even included in Russia. So we've had a series of amazing trips all over the world with Mother. And some of these which I recollect, UK was it was 89, 89. Yes, when I wrote It's Sitting in the Heart. That was
Yes.
the first
Yes.
trip. So 89 it was, 89. And that was the same trip in which I heard this album Golden Goddess. And I heard them perform on stage before Shri Mataji. And then Shri Mataji asked me to meet them. She says, here are these musicians born here, like you are in India, and you all should collaborate and meet each other.
Wow.
Similarly, I met Matt Malley. He used to play beautiful. He had a band called the Crows. I think the Crows.
It's
I'm
quite
not sure.
famous. We've heard about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and you used to sing amazingly in public programs of Shri Mataji. And I remember when Baba Mama and team and we were all there in the US, we all used to sit together and practice, and it was so much fun with the West meets the East,
Yeah.
and we used to improvise some West and East tunes and play in the public program also before Shri Mataji. And all of us, when there would be a puja, because always there would be a puja, once she's gone there would be a puja. And then we were all performing together. Even Stephen Day, I remember when he came there, I think he plays the sarod. He plays excellent sarod. He's one of the top sarod players, who's an American, who who's been there. Even now, I collaborated with him very recently for a 15th August song. 4 5 years back with Dhananjay Dhumal on the harmonium, and we reconnected after many years. It was such a lovely reunion we had recently.
Interesting, because 15th August is in a week's time, literally.
Yes. I'll try and send you that recording which we did
Yes,
about
please.
6 years back, where Stephen Day is playing the sarod and I'm singing, and Ananta Basu is singing with me. It was those were the times of great collaborations. We all musicians used to get together, but now we don't do that. Unfortunately, I think Anandita has carried it forward in a big way with her own choice of people with whom she sings, and I'm quite appreciative of that. That someone is continuing to do that, but they have to
Yes,
just keep the protocol and the vibrations in mind, which is very important, because we tend to
absolutely.
go a little out of gear when we come to getting popular and on a populist mode. That Shri Mataji always warned me that
Tell
don't
us
try.
the warnings, the words of wisdom that Shrimataji told you directly, please, that people now and musicians in Sahaj
So,
should
uh,
remember in future.
so yes, so for with musicians, she used to note that they always want claps and they want recognition, and they probably it's a never-ending process. Like it's never enough. Every time you perform, you want to perform more, you want more claps. And other than claps, then you also expect gratifications. It comes so naturally. Oh, I've given so much of my time and I've composed, I've got a great voice, I'm a great singer, and I think they should pay me for it. This comes very naturally with most singers, mostly with those who don't practice Sahaj Yoga. So those who are like great musicians, they always demand a price. And Shri Mataji used to respect that because she said they deserve it because they have that innate divinity in them about actually knowing what real music is about. They're deep into the ragas, they are into their practice, and they deserve it. They learn a living out of it. So she used to always appreciate that and always pay them heftily whenever she used to call them. I mean, they could not imagine how much they would get. I think, did I tell you last time that how she doubled or tripled the money of some Qawwali singer in India? I don't know if I
Share with us
mentioned.
again, please. Remind us
So,
again.
I mean, I'm going back and forth, but
That's all right.
in 2000 and sorry, in 1994 or 95, she gave me in charge of the stage. And because Baba Mama used to do most of the stage announcements and he was very active there, so nobody had a place to replace him. At any point, he would get there when mother's pujas were there or there were musical programs before the puja. Baba Mama was the master of ceremonies. But Shri Mataji wanted to prepare me into that role. So once she called me and Baba Mama before her birthday puja was held in Scout grounds, I think 1994 or 96, one of these 2 years. I think it was held in all 3 years, 94, 95, 96. So anyway, one of those years, Shri Mataji paid a visit to the Dargah in Nizamuddin.
Yes.
And she put a chadar, she put a chadar. And there were these kawals singing there. They were these Nizami kawals, they were known as. And they were performing at the Dargah. And when she put the chadar over there, and then she was very impressed. And she just mentioned, I think, to one of our leaders from Haryana, who had taken Shri Mataji to the Dargah. And I don't remember his name. Anyway, I keep forgetting big names now. But he invited those people to the. I had gone to the Nizamuddin with her. I had seen all that. And then she invited them, and Shri Mataji then told me that they are going to have a 3-day big performances with big artists. And Rajesh Shah and the others were all planning to invite these big artists. And there was a big team in Bombay contacting M. Rajam for violin, then Anup Jalota for bhajan singing, and then Ghulam Mustafa Khan. He was one of the great musicians who actually taught music to Sonu Nigam.
Wow.
He was his guru, and he was a classical guru from Bombay. Everybody knows about him. He groomed a lot of great holy playback singers. So Ghulam Mustafa Khan was invited, and I think Shobna Narayan, who was a great Kathak exponent, she was invited. Then Sholekar, Miss Sholekar, and then Meena Fatarpekar. So all these great names from Pune, Marathi singers. So there were about 8, 10 big musicians to come. And then these people from Dargah Sharif, from Nizamuddin, they were great kawals. So Shri Mataji called Baba Mama and me and she said, I want Sanjay to get experience on being an MC. And he's been watching you all these years when you have taken Nirmal Sangeet Sarita. On stage, you are doing a great job. And he's been watching you. And I want him also to manage these stage programs. And I want him to take over as an MC for my birthday puja. So Baba Mama said, sure, Shri Mataji, I will guide him, I will tell him, I will, in fact, help him. So Baba Mama stayed behind the stage and he put me in front. And then the whole planning was on my shoulders. When my dad was leading in as one of the leaders for North India. And so I was one of the leading Yuva Shakti. Apart from me, there was Natraj, there were others, Ranjan Sharma, these young boys who were part of my Yuva Shakti team. And then I was elevated to being an MC, and these Yuva Shakti became the main Yuva Shakti. So I was doing all the planning and execution. So first I had the list of all these great musicians, then I had their phone numbers. And I had these Seh Yogis who had made contact with them that they have to come and perform. But the whole organization I was supposed to do. So what was the organization? The organization was that I have to get in touch with them. I have to tell them that mother has put me in charge for this entire programming. and presentation. So I have to understand what are their needs, who is a vegetarian, non-vegetarian, what kind of place they would like to stay. And so I had to arrange a hotel, a motel of their choice so that they could all be together. Then I had arranged cars for them to be picked up and dropped to the venue and out. Then I need to arrange their practice sessions, then their meals at the right time. Everybody had their choices. Other than that, Rajesh Shah was very sweet. He offered me his entire staff from Mukund Iron and Steel because he was a very big businessman from Bombay. Thane in Kalwe, where Shri Mataji used to have post New Year
New
puja,
Year puja.
So Rajesh Shah, she put Rajesh Shah's entire team to help me. So Rajesh Shah offered his own guest house in Vasant Vihar for people to stay, but mother was staying there. So then I said, okay, I should have these musicians close to where mother is staying. So I managed to then finally book a hotel. I remember it was the Ashok, called the Ashok, not that Ashoka hotel, but the Ashok. It was
Okay.
it was en route to Vasant Vihar, en route to this scout ground in Nizamuddin. So, and then my duty was early morning, I would get up and first I coordinated their air tickets, or some were coming by train. I had to pick them up from the airport, take them to the hotel, make them comfortable. So all those arrangements, their travel, their food, and then timely organizing, because there were 3 days and there were 4 or 5 artists per day. So we had about 10, 12 artists playing all told over 3 days, and it would be an all-night program. So we had to, plan it in such a way that who's going to do the flute, who's going to do the classical, who's going to do this, who's going to do the kawali, and then one day was left for the kawali. So the kawals came to me. And then these kawals said, sir, everybody's saying you are in charge, so please give us an opportunity to play in front of Shri Mataji. And then, of course, Shri Mataji had liked them, and I remember. So what I made was I made a list, and I was coordinating with I think our Delhi leader was Mr. Nalgirkar, and he said, well, you have to take over everything, and then you have to come on the mic, and then you have to introduce the artist, and then you have to see that the program runs according to the wishes of Shri Mataji. So Shri Mataji was consulted every day. Wherever she was staying, I would go give her a list. Day 1 it is this, day 2 it is this, day 3, and then she would tell me, okay, keep this person first, this person first. So this is how it was all decided by her.
Wow.
So it was by her wishes we used to make those plans.
Which year is this? 1994.
I think 94, I think 94 birthday puja. It was a very, very big birthday puja at the Scout ground. I think 94 could be 50th
Might be
year
okay.
of Sahaja. I don't know how many, not 50th year, but
So
some
it's mother's felicitations, probably the
Mother's Day,
70th.
basic, very big felicitation where Rajesh Shah came and facilitated her and everything. And they had put this whole of the scout ground available, and it had a huge number of people who would come and sit there,
Wow.
And I remember I had arranged their video recordings. I don't know if the video was recorded. I think the foreigners had their own setup who used to come, and so everybody was coordinating with me. And other than that, I had the audio recording setup done on my own. I was doing it myself, so that everybody's performance from A to Z was recorded on audio, because I didn't have any wherewithal of video recording at that time. That time it was a very professional job. And when the foreigners used to come, our foreign Sahjogi brothers, they used to bring their very expensive equipment and set them up. And then they had the control of all the visuals. So that's what you see in Amruta, finally everything goes there. So you must try and look out for those performances, because I remember I made friends. I think I remember Ajit Karkade was also there.
Yes.
And then Shri Mataji told me to tell them, to give them all my bhajan cassettes, that they should listen to what is being created in Sahaj Yoga, and then they should try to emulate from there and then perform, so that their performances are full of vibrations. Although she is already giving them that, with her presence, but she wanted more to be done out of that. So she had directed me. So then I had given my bhajan cassette sets to each one of these musicians if they wanted to use it in some form or the other. So I remember Anup Julota used mine. He spent time with me trying to understand some bhajans which mother would have loved. And so they were all trying to find out from me what would please her. So that then they would perform that. So I was spending a lot of time with those people. And I remember Ajit Karkade took my Kabir bhajans, he heard them out, and he actually sang one of my Kabir bhajans on the stage. He said, I practiced, I heard you several times, and then I sang exactly what you sang in the cassette. So those were the things I remember. It was so fulfilling. It was one of the most fulfilling part of my life that my music is going to these great musicians for them to then emulate from there and then start performing before Shri Mataji. That kind of awe I felt Shri Mataji was giving me. And then when I became the MC, I was recording, I was talking, and I was introducing them. And Shri Mataji was acknowledging it with her very loving looks to me. And when it came to giving money to these people, I remember, and I was telling you about these Nizamuddin guys, because I was talking to each, because I had to find out what all money they are going to charge. So I knew what each man was charging. And everybody who was called professional were paid. Either they made a demand or they didn't make a demand. Shri Mataji made sure that envelopes were ready to give to them. And I remember only one person whose demand Shri Mataji tripled. He was asking for some 20,000 rupees for his 13 or 14 people, or 11,000. I think at that time, 11,000 was a big amount.
It was a huge time, a huge amount those days, yes.
And I remember when after they performed, of course, she put a chadar there and then they performed a kawali all night. And people were dancing and putting money on the chadar. And it collected, I don't know how much they must have collected, huge amount. And they were also in dollars and pounds and francs. I don't know how many currencies people were putting money and dancing all night.
Wow.
Those kawals must have collected a fortune. And other than that, they had made a demand. And when I told Shri Mataji, they are demanding quite a lot. You know how we used to feel? And we used to tell Shri Mataji like that. And Shri Mataji said, don't worry, I'll take care. And at the end of the day, Nalgekar ji was putting the money and putting it in an envelope and then giving it to me. I had a bag which had a lot of money in it to be handed over to these musicians when they were finishing. And so I was taking a lot of care. But I had Kiran Walia with me as my deputy. I had a couple of more deputies. My wife was my deputy, who was controlling the stage. Kiran Walia was controlling the stage arrangements. Of course, she later became a minister in the Congress government. Did you know that? And
yes.
also
She's
a
a very dear
trustee.
auntie. She's a
Yes,
very, very
and
dear
also,
auntie.
so she and her husband used to sit in my house when I used to live in Kalkaji because we had sold our nursing home by then in 94, I remember. I know I was in Palam Vihar, my current house. And she and her husband used to spend a lot of time with me saying, give us some work. Now, what are we supposed to do? Which side are we supposed to come and give the flowers? And you make us, just sort of ishara that this is the time to come and give the flowers to the
Yes.
musician. So when the musician finishes right on time, there was a team of people getting up with flowers and everything, and then I would go and give them the envelope. So I remember about these musicians, these from Nizamuddin. They had asked for some 11,000, and you know how much Shimati put in that envelope? 51,000.
Wow, gosh.
And this is 1994, other than what they collected. So when they saw the money, they said, you are our God. They fell on my feet. And I said, please don't fall on my feet. Please go to Shri Mataji. She is the giver. I am just a communicator. I'm just a postman handing over to you. But he would not. Until today, he calls me my maker. He keeps telling me, you are my maker. Because after that, the Nizamuddin Kawal never saw a bad day in their life. They
Wow.
have been flourishing and flourishing and flourishing. Today, I believe they charge 4 or 5 lakhs for a performance.
Not surprising, isn't it? Wow. I
Yeah.
mean, Adishakti's blessed them with such blessings and fortune. My.
Yes, 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 yes. So I have these recollections about these great musicians whom I connected with. Ajit Karkade became a very good friend.
Yeah.
Anup Jalota became a very good friend. Most of these big artists, we were together for many years thereafter, connecting with each other. And I couldn't thank Shri Mataji enough for giving me this opportunity to be an MC. And so this was one of the biggest, I think, roles I must have played as not only as a musician, but as a person deputed to control a whole set of evenings. Like it was like controlling the whole of Ganpati Pule. It was almost of the same caliber and enormity,
But
How
in
to,
Delhi,
but in Delhi, in my home,
yes,
in
the
my hometown.
powerhouse, the capital city.
Yes. And then she gave me one more opportunity. I think the very next year or year after that, we had gone to Russia when there was this coup happened. I think maybe it happened before this. 93, it happened, the coup in Russia when Gorbachev government fell and the Berlin Wall fell. It was in
Yes, East and
93.
West Germany became one. Yes, it's the early 90s. Yeah, I can't exactly. Yeah.
So I think that is where Shri Mataji wanted me to take charge because by default, I became an MC in Talyati in Russia. Because
Wow.
when the wall fell and when Gorbachev's government was ousted, the military rule came. And Shri Mataji was supposed to travel to Talyati to give a public program in a stadium. And this huge stadium, there were 35 or 40,000 people coming to listen to Shri Mataji. And the coup happened a day before that. And the airspace was shut. And Shri Mataji was supposed to fly from Kabela to Talyati directly by plane. And who was supposed to accompany her? Baba Mama.
Wow.
And we musicians were discharged by bus because Guido had arranged a big bus where we could all sleep. There were about 10, 11 beds in that bus. Huge bus. And all the musicians, all of us, traveled all the way from Rome right up to Russia. It took us 2 or 3 nights. We slept in the bus. There were 3 drivers who were driving us, one from Australia. His name was John. I think there were one from Austria, there's one from UK, and they were very dedicated Sahajogis. And then there was about a dozen Sahajogis who were accompanying us in the bus so that they could look after the musicians, so that all their needs were taken care of. And Shri Mataji was so particular. She said every musician has to be individually looked after. So there was like one man looking after me, one man looking after Baba Mama. Baba Mama didn't come in that bus. I think because he was supposed to fly with Shri Mataji. So Guruji, Chaya, Sandesh Popatkar, Ashok Dhoke. I mean, we were about 8, 9 of us. Anil Khobragade, Deepak Verma, I think even Arun Apte. So we were all there in that bus. And Shri Mataji sent us to Talyati so that we can go a day earlier, prepare for the music. And she said, you people perform till I arrive. And so it was a big stadium. So we all had about 4, 5 songs lined up for each one of us who were performing, singing or whatever. So there was this instrumental, there was sarod, there was sitar, there was flute, there was harmonium, there was guitar, there was saxophone. I don't know how many instruments. We were about 13 of us. And we landed up in Talyati. And when we landed up in Talyati, of course, there was this miraculous experience about how the army sort of stopped us before we could enter Russia because the coup had just happened, and how we displayed our badges and we told mother, love, love, and then they just let us go. We had no problem, and this was the miracle, and how we went through with so many tragedies happening on the route, with the bus breaking down. Then we had to go and spend the night in an army hotel. The army took care of us, and finally, when we reached Talyati, and then we were told that the airspace is shut, Shri Mataji is not coming. And Dr. Bordon was in touch with me through some local Sahjogi there, and I kept getting messages from Kabela that Shri Mataji said, since I can't come, Baba Mama is not there to do the MC on the stage. Now, Sanjay, there's no other option but you take over. So that is how, for the first time, I took over a crowd to manage of 35,000 people trying to arrange music performance and telling them that Shri Mataji will come, please wait, let's have music and let's enjoy and let's all dance. Because It wasn't supposed to be disclosed that Shri Mataji is not coming, because people would just go away. And they were all waiting for their self-realization. So Guruji, myself, and 4-5 of us, Deepak Verma and Arun Apte, and all of us decided that we are going to give them realization through our music. So we started performing from 7 in the evening, and you won't believe it, we were singing till 4 in the morning. And somewhere around 1 o'clock, I announced that because of the closure of the airspace, Shri Mataji is not able to come, but you can have your self-realization while we are singing. And now photographs have come where the vibrations are flowing out of people's heads.
Wow.
And there is a huge, I have some photographs, I'll try and show you. I still am looking for those photographs where they are, where people, all of them in the stadium got their self-realization.
Is this the program you're talking about? You're staying there. Is this is 1983, 1993, 1st August.
Here it is Baba Mama, but that was 1994.
Okay, so
this is a public program. So we had been to Talyati before.
yes.
But this is the one where we were standing on stage for hours and hours performing. Baba Mama wasn't there. I was doing the MC. And the news reached Shri Mataji that all night they sang and everybody got their self-realization. And Shri Mataji said, I'm so happy that my children have done of course, she played the drama by making us do it. The whole drama was played by the Devi,
Yes.
We know it. Yeah. It is nothing. Nobody can stop the Devi from going wherever she wants to, unless she doesn't want to. Because there was always a purpose to it. And this was the purpose. So when she came to know I managed the stage, that is the time when she told Baba Mama, I want him now to look after my birthday puja in Delhi. And that's how I got that opportunity. Because this came by default in Talyati.
Okay, I'm just trying to find that puja just so, I mean, please remind us of there is an interview. Was there a TV interview that happened in 1994? No, let me just get to
It could be 93, huh? It could be 93 because 94 we had this birthday puja, and 1 year before when was this Berlin Wall fell? The same year, Gorbachev also his regime was thrown out. It could be 91 even, I'm not sure.
I think it's probably 1991.
It could be 91. Because then we kept going to Russia after that, 92, 93, 94. Up to 95 or 96, 3 or 4 times I went to Russia.
Berlin Wall fell on the 9th November 1989, so it must be 1991. Let me get through to 90.
Yeah, must be when the government fell in, when the Russian Federation actually collapsed.
Because there were 2 coups in 91 that failed, and so Gorbachev returned to power, and then another happened. It was something called a self-coup by Yeltsin in 1993. So
must be 93. So it must be 93 because then the 94 puja happened, and then Shri Mataji remembered how I was part of the management of the crowd in Talyati, and then how she said that Baba Mama, I think Sanjay should be given a chance to do this. I remember Baba Mama actually came to me after the program and he said, like in a very big joke, you kicked me in the stomach, I said, why? He said, because you're going to stop my food. My income will stop. I said, what, Baba Mama? What are you talking? What income are you talking about? We used to joke a lot, no, together. He, in that particular term, he used to use कि मेरे पेट पे लात मार दी है. And Shri Mataji used to laugh. I used to tell her, Shri Mataji, this is how Baba Mama jokes with me. She used to tell me, but that is Baba. Baba ऐसा ही है.
Amazing. Oh, what incredible times. I was trying to look on the Amrita, but I can't find that link of this music evening in Togliatti that you and all the other musicians had to hold the fort because the airspace was closed.
Well, I have the pictures. I think Aditya has scanned all my pictures. Aditya from our team. I'm going to ask him to send those pictures to me of only of the Talyati, and I'll have them sent to you. I'll ask
Okay,
him to. I'll mail them to you. Yeah, yeah.
brilliant. Thanks. That's excellent. So what a nice experience. What a nice musical journey so far. 1980s we've reached here. When does the transition come from music to? I know you briefly mentioned how you made that first audio visual from analog to digital. When does it
Yeah.
become a sort of a big screen filmmaking um, project? Did you have actually conversations with Shri Mataji? Did Shri Mataji guide you, or how did that come about? Or is there any other memorable golden episodes that you'd like to share with us in that time, please?
Well, there were several because it's like till the time she took her samadhi, we had so many experiences in
Yeah.
between with Shri Mataji. But this one major one, which happened in 2002, you remember when I was telling you I had gone to her with my album Jai Jagdambe Ma, and she said,
Yes.
that should make an audio visual. And we shot the audio visual in Pune, in Satara, in the Himalayas. And it cost me even there at that time more than 2.5 lakhs to just shoot the video. And of course, the whole money was given by my mother. My mother used to be very supportive. Somehow she used to keep saving money and saying, if mother gives you any task, you use this money. And Shri Mataji came to know that my mother is saving up all her pocket money and giving it to me for all the work Shri Mataji asked me to do. And then Shri Mataji, then she didn't like it. And she started to tell me that you must try to recover whatever is costing you. So then she started to tell me that you must start pricing your artwork, whatever you do, you should take a money back, because how are you going to do this? How is this going to sustain, when I want this done? Because she said all my life, when I wanted to spread Sahaj Yoga, I opened my purse, and Sir CP was so liberal to me that his entire income was getting diverted into spreading Sahaj Yoga. And then she started opening her purse and started giving me, uh, you know, to cover up for the expenses. But my mother was very upset. She said, "You're not going to take a penny from Shri Mataji." So there was this going on between the two mothers, and I was just sandwiched between, because one was the relationship of such kind that
Yes.
we would not accept anything from her. And she would then quietly give it to me, saying, how are you going to live with your family? Every time you leave your family, you are here with me. And of course, she used to buy my ticket to go with her. And wherever I stayed, she would tell people to look after me. And they would load me with a lot of gifts and a lot of gratitude for being there, for singing bhajans and, doing all this with mother. But I said, well, I'm doing this for my mother, and I'm getting so much happiness and satisfaction doing this for Shri Mataji. Yes, and so let's say I keep digressing, but I just wanted to tell you that that one episode which happened in 2002, when she said, you go to Times Music, you go to do ghazals, and all these will become, you know, worldwide, your work will go. And why she was focusing so much on that? Because she wanted to fulfill that inner desire of me, which she asked me not to do at one time,
Yeah.
not to. And she says, she told me, I hope you're feeling fulfilled with what has happened. And I said, Shri Mataji, more than that, you have given me. So is that song now that you have given us more than we could ask for, bliss and peace and happiness. And then one fine day, when I was sitting with her at Kalpana Didi's house in Bombay, it was 10th of December 2002. So that is the time when she said that I think you should go for the big screen. And so big screen could mean anything. Then I made this video and I went and released it. And then Shimataji said, that's good what you've done, but I meant cinema. She told me this in Balewadi Puja time, that my VCDs were selling and going everywhere. And then she said, I think now time to move on to make films. And after that, there was no going back. Uh, I think I didn't know anything about filmmaking. I was zero. Like I didn't know anything about writing poetry, composing music. My voice used to crack. But she then worked on me and gave me everything. But then she said one thing to me when she was talking to me, and she said uh, that there are a lot of people who will not appreciate your work because we have more people who are gossipers and who rumor mongers and they talk against each other. And this is something that I don't like because they are all in my body and it pains me, it hurts me that if somebody is doing a good job or somebody is doing great work and of my saying, they are not checking vibrations at all and they are just running you down all the time. So don't be afraid. You know, I am with you, I'm behind you. So don't be afraid of anybody. Let everybody do what they want to do. But those who really take vibrations, those who really appreciate the work that I'm asking you to do, they will come forward and they will help. So I used to have these, these wrinkles on my forehead and we just and say, Shri Mataji, but I don't know how to make a film. Like I'm pleading to her, please don't tell me to make a film. I don't know how to make a film. And Shri Mataji is saying, but you are not making it. I have made it already. And I'm just wondering what is she saying? I've made it already. It's already done. So what do you have to do? Just go push the door and see everything is done. So what? You push a door. Okay, I give a bandhan. So she says, this is for one door. This is for second door. This is for third door. And she gave so many bandhans. She closed her eyes and then she says, your work is done. Just try, do it and see how it will work out. And this is exactly, Sushmita, I experienced. I had just one question at that time, Shri Mataji. And I said, Shri Mataji, how will it happen? And when will it happen? And Shri Mataji said that you nurture the desire in it, it will work out. And when it works out, it will work out. And don't think what time or how long it is going to take. But this is how Sahaj Yoga eventually will need the new technology of media and social and this movie films. And she used to talk a lot about films in her early talks, that they are necessary, they are good, and we should talk of family films and we should have family movies. Because movies are impacting the day-to-day life of everybody. People are so enamored by stories and then they start emulating and then start doing exactly what's happening and what they're watching. So therefore, there is more negativity that is spreading through films. Maybe it's on drugs, sex, or bad language, or so our entire OTT, entire media is full of all this nonsense.
True.
And that is destroying our attention. She said, we have to break out of this. And she said, opened your Swadhisthana, I've opened your Nabi, I've opened your heart, I've opened your Agnya, I've opened your Vishuddhi. Use this. If you don't use this, you're wasting your time in Sahaja. She says, use this and become so creative, it will burst like a creative bomb out of you. And then you watch how this works. And she says, never take the onus that you are doing it. I have done it. I have done it. Just go push the door and see it is done. And I did this exactly the way I just followed her words verbatim. I just took the first step. I formed an NGO. I took the second step. I floated the message that mother wants this to be done. Many people came to support it. Then I suddenly found a writer out of the blue. She started writing stories. I found few writers. We decided on narrowed down to a film called Grah Lakshmi. And then I bumped into a very big institution which teaches filmmaking. And their heads, one of the heads turned out to be a Sahajogi. He was a trainer in acting. And I just was so lucky. I mean, I can't tell you, every moment was like opening of the door was a miracle. And I remembered every bandhan she gave was that Just push and it'll happen. But you have to push. You have to make the effort. So in that, whatever little effort I did was out of my pure desire to fulfill mother's uh, wish, that it started to happen. And then Grihalakshmi happened. It got one award, and we got little excellent excited about this. Okay, we got an award for Grihalakshmi. And the how the Grihalakshmi was made in itself was a big miracle, because everything started appearing the way I wanted it. I mean, I thought this is how the story has to go, and even the thought she implanted in me in my meditation. In my meditation, I could feel this is how the story should go. This is how it should happen. You should start with the Nabhi. You should opening with the Nabhi. You should talk about the Graha Lakshmi principle, because everybody is in the void. Or they are. माँ कहते हैं कि भवसागर में you're in the void, in the भवसागर. We are into relationships, into jobs, into money, into all that, where our attention is lost, and then you have to bring them out of it. So I thought, why not have a subject of the first movie to be on Graha Lakshmi? The principle of Graha Lakshmi, what Shri Mataji says, is the first principle that takes us very closer to our void. It works through the void surrounds the Graha Lakshmi principle, and how it binds us into that maryada of living. So in that span of 1.5 hours of the movie, we tried to show that how Sahaja Yoga links you to your Navi Chakra, and how the housewife, the Graha Lakshmi, binds the family together to be a one comprehensive, happy, joyous unit. So this first idea which came to me, it actually was brought onto the screen through this great acting institution which was linked with me. And once it was made and it got one award, we got so excited. And then the pandemic came, and then nobody could do anything. So we started writing Mahalakshmi Path, the next. And so what was Mahalakshmi? It was actually graduating from Grihalakshmi to the central channel, and how the housewife plays a very active role in bringing all members of their family and their problems to the center, and how everything just breaks out and everything good happens to you. If you're trying to conceive a child, the child is happening. If you have some problem of some kind in the family happening, maybe business is not working out, automatically everything is working out. So old relationships were lost because of some bad chakra within you, that relationships were brought back. And so everything got sorted out. And then Shri Mataji said that this is the wealth. The Mahalakshmi is the wealth of the Lakshmi, is now becomes Mahalakshmi, which becomes your evolution. So that's how the idea came, to make Mahalakshmi Path the evolution. And now you see 114 awards in 1.5 years the movie has got. And now it has been bid in the Toronto Film Festival for 5 nominations for an award. And I'm trying to see if I can go there and receive it, if the award is announced, because they don't announce the award in advance. It will be done after the screening. And 9th September this year, they are screening it in Toronto, Yorkshire area. It's called the Yorkshire University, or it's the library area where they have this theater where they are screening my movie. And I've told the entire Canadian collective, I've already told the American collective, that look forward to it. This is all Shri Mataji doing this for us. And all of us should come on stage. And if we get an award, we should all go and pick it up us together and say this award is not to the movie, it's to Shri Mataji. Because why are so many festivals recognizing Mahalakshmi Path, is because in that movie, there's nothing but Shri Mataji. Shri Mataji's speech and how Sahaja Yoga has erupted from Graha Lakshmi to Mahalakshmi Path. And everybody whom I've shown the movie, not a single person has said he didn't like it. I mean, school children were crazy. We did a show in Faridabad in Haryana for 900 children. They were all funded by some Sahaja or the other to book the halls. And 900 children took self-realization. We took their interviews. They were so excited. They said, Uncle, we have not seen a movie like this. We are so loving it. And anybody who has gone to the theater has loved it. Many people actually got many of their family members to come into Sahaja Yoga by showing them the movie. They were trying years and years. They could not get their family members interested. And they just said, let's go see a movie. Didn't tell them anything. They went to see the movie and they said, we want to do Sahaja Yoga. I
Wow.
have so many people telling me that our family would never have come to Sahaja Yoga unless they had seen the movies. So I could now see what was in mother's vision, that if we do correct kind of movies and present them on the silver screen, then Sahaja Yoga will stay there forever, because we will come and go, but these movies will stay because they are made once in a lifetime.
Yes.
So,
And this was your meeting with Shri Mataji in Mumbai on the 10th of December
yes,
2002.
2002. That was a trigger.
Amazing.
That was a
Amazing.
trigger. So
Wow.
I think we had a nice time together today, this
Very
evening, and
nice
a
time.
very long session. And thank you so much for having me over today.
Thank you very much for taking this time out to share this absolutely amazing journey of an artist, of a Sahaja Yogi artist. And also thank you to Mrs. Talwar auntie that she could join us, because it just completes the whole picture for us. And all thanks to Shri Mataji for making this possible, and thank you for wonderfully sharing these stories and the amazing times that we can only imagine, and enjoy the vibrations of. Thank you so much. Jai Shri Mataji.
Jai Shri Mataji. Thank you so much. Thank you, Shri Mataji.
Thank you, Shri Mataji, again and again.
God bless.